was literally just on my Instagram trying to find a page that was dedicated to solely plus size men who likes to travel. I couldn't find any men, big men jumping off a boat. I couldn't find plus size men eating Scorpios in Thailand. And I thought there has to be a forum for us.
Another episode of Not Shapely TV, but Shapely TV. I have a special guest for you. You know how we always talk about representing for the plus size man. I stumbled across this page called Fat Men Traveling on Instagram, and I had to reach out. And thankfully, Osheane is how you pronounce it. Osheane.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes, got back to me, and he's here. I'm going to let him introduce himself, and we'll jump to it. So, Osheane, let him have it.
Hey, just a brief background. My name is Osheane, originally born in Jamaica, one of the best Caribbean countries.
Yes,
so I was born in St. Catherine Parish. So
okay.
I left Jamaica when I was 2 years old, and ever since I've lived in the UK. Okay, so I'm 26, and I'm currently living in London now. And I'm a frequent traveler, so I've been to maybe 40 countries in the past 5 years.
Wow. I got some catching up to do.
Right.
So it's funny, like my parents, my dad is Jamaican. I go to Jamaica about 3 times a year. Yeah. And my mom's from Curacao. So look, you see how it's just
good
all
mix. That's a good mix. Yeah.
Okay, so you know at Shapely we love representing for the people, plus size people. But the plus size men have said they feel so underrepresented. So we're rolling out this section for y'all, and this is the perfect way. So Osheane, please tell them how you got started. Because I heard a snippet of your story, and I said, nope, we got to save it for the interview. So let them have it.
Yeah, so I started Fat Men Traveling last year, April, so 2019. And I was literally just on my Instagram trying to find a page that was dedicated to solely plus size men who likes to travel. I couldn't find any men, big men jumping off a boat. I couldn't find plus size men eating Scorpios in Thailand. And I thought there has to be a forum for us. So couldn't find anything on Instagram for 2 hours. So I decided, let me try Facebook to see if there's a Facebook group for plus size men. Nothing. Then I checked Google, which everything is on Google. Tried to find a plus size men forum that like to travel. Couldn't find anything. So what I did, I said, no, I need to start this. There's definitely plus size men out there that love to travel or would like to travel. Let me start this. So I created my logo with Windows Paint.
By any means.
And it's still, by any means. Sometimes when you have an idea or so, you just start it, because if you leave it till next day, or I need to get a graphic designer, maybe you never start this idea.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
And the logo's still there now.
Some people, I feel like now in this day and age, time is of the essence, you know? Yeah. And if you miss that button by 1 second, it's done. So the time you spend like really trying to perfect it, somebody done pick up, you know, what you already had. So I'm glad you touched on that. Please tell everybody when you started, because I think your growth is amazing in the time span.
So we started last year, April 2019, but it was very difficult. It took me hours to just find plus size men. So at first, I had to be featuring myself, which I don't really want to do, because it's a community we're trying to build. Yeah. And I don't want the page to be about me, for example. So once we started it, it got a massive, massive boost from influencers that I didn't pay no money. They were just willing to support us because there was no page. Yeah, there was no page out there. Fair enough, there's a lot of plus size women traveling pages, which I fully support. But for men, there was nothing like it. So I got support from random people that were just supporting, resharing, sharing our pictures, telling people to follow us, etc. So I really love the support we had.
Yes. And I love my premise is like living out loud. I feel like sometimes we're so boxed in by our bodies and our body type. We have this misconception on what we can do or can't do strictly because of our size. Yeah. So I think it's so important to visually represent all it is that the plus size body can do. Like we do a trip every year. And the last one, I decided to have some professional photos taken. And the feedback, people were like, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of doing that. And that led us to opening up the trip, because it was normally in my group of friends.
Yeah.
And the feedback and the response has been so amazing. It sucks that COVID came to town. You know what I'm saying? But,
you know, photos and videos can change someone's life. The amount of DMs we've got say, wow, I didn't know. I've never seen a plus size man take a beach photo with his top off. And now I feel encouraged, especially our Facebook group now. That's the more intimate group where plus size men are talking about travel problems, how they feel, etc. at the beach.
So International Men's Day is coming up, and it's actually on the 19th. So it's right around the corner.
Yeah.
And the goal of that day, or the premise of that day, is to highlight men, you know, doing big things in the community, a sense of brotherhood, camaraderie, and things like that. And I felt like your brand just fell right into that. So
Thank
you know, people, what does Men's Day mean to you? Like, I know in the States here, you know, the men are vying for their spot. So they're like, forget they represent for the guys, or you know, is men, do you guys celebrate it there? Does it have any significance? Are you happy that there is a Men's Day?
To be honest, I think when it comes to America, they support Men's Day much better compared to UK. It's something that we rarely hear about. You only hear about, for example, International Women's Day, which is a big, massive event which we fully support. But I just feel like men are just down here when it comes to things like events. Father's Day is a big event for us, but International Men's Day is not something you really hear about in the UK.
Well, that's kind of sad. Rip for your men, you know.
Yeah.
Growing up, I was a daddy's girl, you know, and my dad was a Rasta. So there was certain values and teachings that, you know, he instilled in me. He'll be like, I ain't teach you that, but I feel like the role of, I'm not even gonna say like a dad, a father, a male in any child's life is so important. A mentor in any adult life is important. And I want to take the time out, and we wanted to take the time out, Shape Leo together, to really give men the credit they deserve for the great. Some of y'all, you acting up sometimes. But when you get it right, you guys get it right.
Yeah.
When I scrolled through your feed, I was like, you guys got it. You guys got it right. I feel like the plus size body sometimes, or the plus size image, if you do a search or Google search as to fat men, see all the derogatory images that are. There's hot dogs flying around, people grasping at their stomachs and things like that.
Yeah. And that's why I was in two minds. You know, when I first started, Fat Men Traveling sounded like the perfect brand name, because we are fat and we are traveling. Some people don't like the word fat because it can be used in a derogatory way or a negative way. But I said, let me try put a spin on it.
Yes.
And then I was having, at the start, I was having a bit of backlash. People are saying, you're calling me fat. Why are you posting this? Call it Big Boys Travel or something like that. So I said, no, I'm keeping to it. We are fat.
Thank you.
That's how we are. So.
And, you know, I had to book a special trip to Atlanta just to get positive representation of the plus size. And I'm just like, wow, when I saw your stuff, I was like, this is what we need. We need way more of this. So how has it been received? Once people got through the initial sticker shock of the name, how has it?
Everything's been positive. I get so much DMs. Thank you so much. I'm not comfortable posting my photo yet, but it has inspired me and encouraged me. And there are some men that, for example, they're 40, 50 years old, that's never traveled because the fear of the unknown or the fear of being fat shamed at a beach. But now they got a community. If someone was to ever say a negative comment, the followers will be onto them. Like, who are you to comment on this person's beautiful picture, for example? So it's been positively received, and especially the Facebook group is sometimes puts a tear to my eye because they share so many stories which I knew there's people out there, but now I've actually got the time to actually speak to them about problems they have as well.
Is there a plus size market community or I don't want to say like micro society where you're from? Like, is it? I live in New York City,
Yeah.
so you know we're the melting pot. Nobody's really like, but a lot of our followers live in these small towns where there's not a lot of people that look like them, so they rely on the online community. So how is it where you guys are?
90% of our followers are from America. I think we've got maybe 30 followers from the UK. It is not a plus size men's community in the UK whatsoever. And me as a plus size man, I feel more comfortable when I'm in America. I feel like I'm okay to be big here, for example. But in the UK, it's a bit more harder, especially with clothes. You get looks. If you want to take a photo at the beach with your top off, you feel less comfortable. But in America, I feel like this is my town. No one can say anything. We all look alike here, for example.
Well, we welcome you no matter what our old president said. Come on over.
Yeah.
He's about to leave anyway.
Funny enough, I've been in America about 3 times. So I've been to like New Orleans. I've been to like Florida. I've been to different parts. So I've got the sense of there's a community here, for example.
If you ever want to come to New York City, hit me up. I'll bring out all the stops and you'll I'm telling you, it's a blast here. And you know, sometimes you forget that you're fat until you go to these other places. Yeah. And not for nothing, in the West Indian culture, I'm not like, they call me fluffy. Like it's really so obscure to see somebody like my size. And actually that's where the name comes from, shapely, because in the West Indian culture, like they would refer to me as shapely, you know?
Yeah.
So sometimes I go places, I'm like, oh, I forgot I'm fat. Thanks for moving right on with life, you know? And you have mentioned that people are sharing some of their stories or whatever. Can you give me like 1 or 2 that really, really pulled on your heartstrings and where you was like, I'm glad I really developed this platform for people?
Yeah, so one person, he got fat shamed in, I think it was Spain. So ever since that holiday, he felt like he's not going on holiday again. So he's always stayed in his town, for example, because he feels more accepted in America. But then I started to tell him that stories of me. I've been fat shamed at a beach, for example. But, you know, I just keep it moving. And there's always going to be people that has negative to say and positive to say. No matter how beautiful you are, there's always going to be someone to say something. You got something in your hair, or your lips are dry, or it's just how you move on from that. And if you've got a community backing you, then you feel more comfortable. So he just said he felt good that there was someone that he could speak to about it. And then there was another person who, he didn't know that if you're sitting on the emergency exit on a plane, you're not allowed a seatbelt extender. So he felt a bit ashamed about that because he had to move seats because he had a seatbelt extender as well. So yeah.
In full transparency, I'll share a story. I don't know. We have Six Flags Great Adventures out here. Do you guys have like Six Flags?
Sorry?
Like amusement park, roller coaster?
Yeah, we have that, but they're not plus size friendly.
Okay, so here's my story. I was about 22. I went and I couldn't fit in the roller coaster, and the guy tried with all his might. He was like,
yeah.
And my fiance at the time couldn't fit in either. And we had to get up and everybody's rushing us because they want to get on the roller coaster. And I swear it was like the walk of shame.
Yeah, everyone's looking. Yeah.
Since that day, I have never been to Six Flags.
Okay, I understand. Have you been to any theme park?
I was just about to up on that. So Busch Gardens in Williamsburg, they have designated seats for larger bodies.
Oh, perfect. Didn't know.
So whereas a regular seat would have like a smaller frame and like one buckle, the seats in like the 4th or 5th row is double buckled and it's
perfect.
Higher. So if I want to go to an amusement park, I have to go to Busch Gardens.
Yeah.
Again, I haven't been to Six Flags since, so I don't know what changes they've made, but definitely identify with your audience
Yeah.
because I'm sure I have a story like that. I'm sure there's a million
Yeah.
other people who have a story like that.
Yeah, but you would need a forum like that. So, for example, another story that I forgot to say is there's a guy who went to Disneyland Orlando. He fit in the seats perfectly. He had the best time of his life. Then he went to Disneyland Paris,
Uh,
not plus size friendly whatsoever. But you would just assume that every single branch and franchise all are to a standard basis where all the seats are the same or plus size friendly, but it's not. So we're trying to, when on our website that we're trying to build up, we're trying to have all this information, which theme parks are plus size friendly, etc.
the UK, y'all gotta get it together because even y'all clothing sizes, like
Most, yeah, like most men have to order clothes online.
I'm like, is
Yeah.
that kind of my pinky? And speaking of what you said, I would, love it if we could touch base even after this and collaborate because Shapely has been rolling out something called Fatty Friendly. So
Okay.
it's like a directory, a stamp of approval as to brands, places, locations that accommodate the plus size body. So
Yeah.
for us, we would say like Busch Gardens, Williamsburg is a fatty friendly amusement park.
Okay. Yeah.
Go there and within reason still have a good time. So that sounds like something you guys are trying to do as well. Give your following like a go-to guide to where they'll
Yeah.
have a better time.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'd rather read about it and be able to go than go
Yeah.
and be embarrassed. So
Yeah. And that's the thing what I was trying to do as well. I was trying to create like YouTube videos as well, but I kind of fell off. It's a bit time consuming.
please
So I
tell
need to get back to it.
people think being like a YouTuber or a blogger is so easy.
It's hard.
Like this is too much work.
Yeah, yeah. If I was just to sit here, talk about a subject for 30 minutes, press record, I can do that. But to edit videos of me jumping here, doing this is a long thing.
Thank you. I'm so glad. So shout out to all the bloggers, bloggers, everybody out there. We stand with you. Okay.
100%.
Yes. What would you like to see change for plus size men? Like what, and that's how we could close out. What would you like to see change? Is there anything that really grinds your gears when it comes to some things?
Well, there is a transition now, so I'm hoping that more plus size men become more confident in themselves to post pictures, because it got to a point where I was getting frustrated. I can't find any photos. Why is it so difficult? I can find photos of everything. So hopefully more and more men will start posting pictures and videos. Hopefully there's more plus size men's event. I don't know if there's a plus size men's fashion event solely for plus size men. Something that we're trying to go into next year is doing some big events for just plus size men. Hopefully when the American border opens, so that's something I want to do. Parties with plus size men, just gatherings and meetings as well. That's something that I want to change. I want more shops and stores to have plus size men clothing, jeans, for example. I'm tired of us having to go on the internet and wait for 7-day delivery, etc. for clothing.
It's funny that you mentioned that because we did something called the round table and the men complained about that. They said the plus size man, we got to go all the way in the back,
yeah,
corner for this little section.
yeah. I think Target is a big issue as well. Target store, I think there's
really?
there's a lot of clothes, but there's the other section of clothing you have to do online. One of our followers did a video on it as well.
It's really night and day because as like a fluffy person, I feel comfortable walking into Target.
Yeah.
Wow. So that lets me know that the standard for what is average size in the US and the UK is totally different.
Yeah. The Target has some clothing for plus size men, but it's not a wide range. So the rest of it is on the internet.
And I don't know about you, but I like to try my stuff on because even though we might be the same weight or whatever, like everybody is different. Where I might carry weight in my stomach, somebody else might carry weight, or whatever the case may be. So it's totally different. I'm so enamored by what you do. If there's any way we can support, let us know. We have events listed, and some may not be dedicated specifically to men, but a lot of them have like a men's hour and things like that. I know Curvy Ventures is another group that I work with from time to time, and one of their owners, Juan, like he's very big on plus size male representation, and like he tries his best to show up for the men, you know, in a positive way, the way which I admire. So thank you for taking the time out to have
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
You're welcome. Please let everybody know where they can find you, anything you're working on. Here's your, minute to drop every plug you need. Drop.
So you can find us on Fat Men Traveling with 2 L's because it's the UK spelling. So Fat Men Traveling on Instagram, Fat Men Traveling on YouTube, and our website's coming out soon, www.fatmentraveling.com. So that's me.
Thank you guys. I'm Aya, of course, of Shapely, and you can find me at Shapely Events across all platforms. And we hope that you're happy with our International Men's Day rollout and features. Do it up for the big dudes. Hey, hey.